What's up, y'all? I go by the name of Do It Jack, and I'm back in the mix. I'm back in action, and this is What's Your Hustle. Well, hustling is a way of life, and by hustle, I'm talking how you survive through life every day. Now, I made an earlier video about some job interview tips, but I decided to take the video down because I felt that I left out a lot of valuable information. And the, and the information that I left out is exactly what this video I'm going to dedicate to all about. And that's how to discuss wages at your job interview. Now, first things first, I'm all about hustling. I'm all about having your side hustle. And by hustle, I'm talking legit hustles. You feel me? To build up until you can be able to leave the job. But in the meantime, while you're trying to get your side hustle off the ground, you might have to work a couple of jobs. Now, when you go into these job interviews, you want to be about business. It's okay to smile and all that, but at the same time, you want to have a serious but not stiff type of personality. You want to be loose enough to where you can joke with them and make them feel comfortable, but you also want to be serious and saying, "Hey, look, I ain't here to bullshit. Let's get down to business," right? Sometimes they'll try to get you through the whole interview and they don't want to discuss wages with you. So if that happens, you always ask, "Well, hey, how much does this job pay? How much does this particular position that requires this type of work, how much does that compensate?" Before you do that though, you want to make sure on your job application you read the whole shit, you feel me? Make sure that it says whether or not wages are negotiable. A lot of times if it's like an entry level position, they'll just say, okay, this job pays $12 an hour, non-negotiable. Okay, well you go in, you don't have much leverage. But if it does not say anything about negotiating wages, you always automatically assume that wages are negotiated. Even if they're not, you assume that they are, because you're trying to get more money, right? First of all, the money that they're going to try to offer you ain't enough for what you're worth anyway, because you're a real hustler and you're trying to get to that money, and that just ain't going to cut it, but it's all good. For the meantime, it's all good, right? So you go in, right? And let's say they don't want to, like I said, you ask, how much does this job compensate? And let's say they say $12. You always, even if it says on the application that they're not negotiable, you always ask anyway. Is this wage negotiable? I mean, we can work something out to make a little bit more money, right? Give you a true story. About 5 years ago, when I was just starting working, well, I was working a little bit, but I was still like lower level positions. There was a job that was paying, on the application it said from $9 to like $10 an hour, something like that, right? So I went to the job interview and I had like quite a bit of experience, and they said, okay, well, we start you off with this amount of experience at $10 an hour. I'm like, well, I mean, is there room to move up? Because I mean, with this type of experience, I mean, I think I should be getting paid a little bit more. And then after talking a little bit, they said, okay, well, we give you $10.25. Now that ain't shit. Don't get me wrong, $10.25 ain't nothing. But I went over what it was required on the application. So there is a chance that you can do that. Now, let's say that they bring up wages. Okay, here's a couple of scenarios that you want to look out for. If they bring up wages and they throw out a number at you, let's say they say, okay, how does $13 sound? You always supersede the first price, because see, they're giving you a price just to see how they can gauge you. They're not really saying that they want to pay you that. They just want to see what you think. They're just throwing it out there, right? Never ever accept the first price. Never. I don't give a damn if the job was paying $10 and they told you, they threw out a $15 tag. Whatever number they throw out, always think that they have another room to go up an extra few dollars, right? Another true story. This was about 2 years ago, actually in the job that I'm working now. The interviewer threw out a price at me, and I was just like, whoa. And it was a good price. I was like, damn, thank you. You know what I'm saying? It was a good price, but I was like, well, you know, with the amount of experience that I have, considering the number of years that I've been working in this particular field, and my work ethic and my ability to sustain a job long term, I feel like I should be making a little bit more. And boom, you throw your price out there. And you see how they gauge, right? Never accept the first price, all right? Second scenario is, let's say they ask you an open-ended question. They'll say something like, okay, are you able to do these duties, blah, 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 blah. how much do you think you should be getting paid for doing this type of work? You always hit them upside the head. I mean, you trying to goddamn grab a baseball bat and knock their goddamn head off. You go up. If the job is for $10, you trying to get 17. You feel me? Now, a lot of y'all saying, all right, bro, now that really ain't realistic. You trying to get 17. But it's a mental thing. You see what I'm saying? You're not really expecting to get $17, but you playing a mental game with them. You know what I'm saying? Because if the job is only paying $10, you say 17, you're telling them what you're really worth. So in their head, when they give you their price and say, okay, we can't give you 17, maybe we can give you 12. You say, boom, got your dumb ass. You see what I'm saying? You got to play the finesse game with these folks. You got to use deception because they not trying to pay you what you really worth. You know what I'm saying? They trying to really pay you like a slave, and that shit just ain't gonna cut it because you a young hustler, right? And you trying to get to that bread, so you trying to stack up your bread to build up something, to create empires, and to be that type of person that you need to be. You feel me? So, recap. If they don't talk about wages, you always ask what the wages is. Whatever price they say, you always ask, is that negotiable? And you try to negotiate that price. If they ask you, or if they tell you this job, how do you feel making $11 an hour? Boom, you always go upside their head. Always. You always go higher than what they say. Never, ever accept the first price. And third, if they ask you an open-ended question, how much you think this job should be paid, you can really joke. I really think this job should be getting paid $40,000 an hour. I mean, $40,000 a year. Whatever salary, the same rules apply for salary, not just wages. All right? Now, it's your boy Do It Jack, and you know, anytime you see me on this camera, I'm coming with some constructive information that can help all my homies out there to get that bread, stay out of trouble, and to be the true hustler that I know you could be. All right? Follow me on Instagram, like us on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, @What's Your Hustle. And for the haters, fuck you in advance. Get at me.